Howdy folks, I'm Jeremy back from the Archeryshack again. Today we have an interesting project for you to follow along with. We got a Bowtech BTX, and long story short, as you could probably tell in the intro reel, the guy stuck an Allen wrench in it to try to press it and install a peep sight, and it came in blowed up. Well, went to put the string back on and noticed the cams were warped. So we got these brand new cam assemblies we're going to install. So what we're going to do here is press the bow, take the strings off, bring it back over here to this counter, mainly because it's the only clean counter in the shop at the moment. Put the new cam assemblies on, and from Bowtech, the cam assemblies, it already has the axle and the limb attachments and the whole 9 yards hooked to it. We're going to put those on the limbs. The limbs actually still look fine, thank God. We got new strings that we made, Archeryshack custom strings, red and black with a silver pinstripe. We're going to get them installed, and then we're going to time it, tune it, paper tune it. And hopefully you'll stick around and follow us. If it's your first time watching our channel, thanks for watching. We'd appreciate it if you'd go below and subscribe. We do a lot of tuning videos, a weekly podcast, and just all kind of stuff here at the shop to try to keep everybody updated. But let's go over to the bow press and get this beauty pressed. Okay guys, we made it over here to the bow press. All I'm going to do at this point is get the strings off and relax the bow out of the press and get it over to a clean table and get the new cams installed, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. I know I already said that, but we started these videos kind of wondering if anybody would watch, and turns out it's been pretty neat over the past 6 months of how many folks have watched our podcast and our tuning videos, so thank you. We'll go ahead and take this screw out of the roller guard and get those cables off and just hand tighten it back in. Go ahead and pull this QAD cord out of the cable. If I can get it out, it's in there pretty snug. So the bow came in, strings everywhere, big mess, and he thought, which, I mean, when he walked in, I just assumed he was correct. Before I looked at it, he thought we could just throw it back together real quick. So we start to put the strings back on and quickly notice, once we get it pressed, that there's a few more problems. So we ended up, we're not a Bowtech dealer. He had to go and buy new cams, and then he brought everything back and wanted us to make a string for it. So we did. You'll see it shortly. It's pretty sharp with a black and red and silver in it. And anyway, let's take this bow out. So we'll get him fixed right back up, get it tuned up. Seems like Bowtechs and PSCs have a ton of flex in the limbs, and when you press them, you crank this thing forever. And I'm sure that's how they get a lot of speed out of them. Some of the Hoyts and other bows, it don't seem like they relax as far. If you're shooting a Bowtech and you're watching, put in the comments which Bowtech you're shooting. Bowtechs we work on a good many Bowtechs. We don't really have a local dealer that sells a ton. There's a guy about an hour from me that sells a few, but there's still a few that come through the shop that need strings and random stuff. But if you're shooting a Bowtech, comment below and let me know which one you're shooting. I'll just be curious to know. I know they had some limb issues for a couple of years there. Okay, stuff's falling off. They had some limb issues for a couple of years there, and I think they got past that. let me get all this and we're gonna go back over to the counter to put the new stuff on. And I got plenty of good clean room here to work on it. So Bowtech's a little different. Unlike most bows where you just knock out an axle and change the limbs, they have a complete assembly here that actually bolts to the limb, and they use all kind of different crazy stuff here, different axle style, I guess you would say. So we're gonna take these off and swap them out. When you unpress a bow, a lot of times they have these, a lot of bows have these little plastic pads that go into the limb pocket. That's what you heard falling out before we come over here. But let's go ahead and get this joker took apart. And it's just 4 Allen screws holding this on here. I'm gonna go grab a 5/64 wrench. Okay, this will make it a whole lot easier. So we'll take these off, slide this whole assembly off, and re-bolt it on. Anybody ever done anything like this? We see some crazy stuff come through the shop. He said he had, and I guess I'll tell this story, but I won't mention a name so y'all don't flip. But round about 2002 or 3, we were at Bucks and Bass when it was still open in town. And we had some pros, husband and wife team, contact us and said they were, there was a new product that was out. I won't say what because it'd probably give away who they are, but new product was out. They were kind of going around and going to shops and doing little demos and this, that, and the other. So we ended up booking them to come to our shop. And we had we had a bow that I had to reserve something on the cable. And he proceeded to take an Allen wrench and stick it in the cam, pull it back slightly and stick it in the cam. And it did, it took the tension off the cable, but I about flipped, I was like, why would you do that? And he's like, this is how I've done it, and this, that, and the other. And I just, in my head, was thinking, you done lost your mind, you know what I mean? And to be a pro shooter doing this at a shop with somebody's bow, come on. So anyway, I'd seen that before, and I occasionally hear about people doing it, but this guy done it, and this is how it turned out. So I do not recommend trying to do this because it's going to blow up your bow. It's not safe. Just go to the dang shop, get a real bow press, go to the shop, whatever you got to do it safely. Because this guy ended up paying like $250 for these cams from wherever he went. Plus, he's having to buy new strings, new cables, and pay us to ultimately rebuild this whole thing. So you don't want to be that guy. When you do something like this, it's easier to me to just do it on a counter versus a vise. these limbs fall out of the pocket so easy. You just don't want stuff hitting the floor. So I typically just sit it on a counter, and I've got 2 or 3 counters back in our work area that we were just in. But I've got other projects and bows and 10,000 things in the way, so I figured we'd just come up here. Let's see what we got going on here. So the way this works is there's off this axle, there's a rotating limb adapter, and then there's a plate that goes on the other side. So I'm just getting it stuck through there, getting it on there. I hadn't really snugged up anything yet. I'm just trying to get it together. But this is one of those projects it'd be easy to lose a lot of parts, so I just wanted to wait till everybody had kind of left the shop. It's not really one of those I like to get in the middle of and then have to do something else and then forget where I was at, if that makes any sense. Hopefully I'm not the only one like that. Kind of like working on a car. The limbs sit on these. I know that's blurry. And then that makes contact with the metal cup. So we're going to put our stuff kind of back together here and then walk over to the vise and repress it and get everything back together. To me, the if you want to call it the hardest part of this is just keeping all your screws and stuff together for this part. The pressing and restringing and all that, to me, is not that big a deal. You just don't want to, on this cam, I'm sure you know about it, you've got all kind of adjustment. You've got the power disc on these newer Bowtech cams. I'm sorry, I know that's still blurry, but you got the power disc. So you got like the comfort, the medium, and the performance setting. So you got to set all that stuff up. Most cams don't have that much adjustability. So we went ahead and got it set back to where he has it. So same draw length, same everything. But anyway, it's starting to rain. I'm sure you can hear it through the microphone. Let's get back over to the bow press and put this bad boy back together. Okie dokie, folks, we're back over here to the press. We're going to press it. We've already started, get our cables on, and get this bad boy tuned up. We'll go ahead and hook the bottom end of our cable. Again, this is a BTX by Bowtech. It's the 31-inch model. And definitely a good shooting bow. We'll press it a little bit more here. Go ahead and hook some cables up. Need a tad more. Okay folks, we're back here going to see how it paper tunes. Bullet hole. What kind of chrono speed we get here? Alrighty y'all, thanks for watching. We got that bow tuned back up, got the new cams on it, the limbs seem to be okay, got the lean fixed. I don't think I got that on video, but I put the spot hog laser on the cams, got them pointing toward each other, got the cams timed. We're maxing out at 59 pounds. Here's our little paper on it that I normally do, if it'll focus. Well, anyway. BTX 31, 59 pounds, 392 grain arrow, 28.5 inch draw length on the comfort setting, chronographed at 261. Got our perfect bullet hole out of it. When he comes in, we'll do the fine details for him. Sorry, the last part of the video kind of switched up and some stuff got cut off. We ran out of time on yesterday's part of it, so we jumped back in today to get it finished up for him. But if you have a bow you'd like us to tune, please give us a call at 864-735-8484. We'll be happy to help you out. If you're local, swing by. We're the Archeryshack in Anderson, South Carolina. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you hadn't already. We'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next video.